Yo, what's going on, guys? Today we're going to take a look at the NBA slate on Draftkings and Yahoo for Monday, October the 28th. We're going to take a look at some of my favorite plays for both sites. I do have plays that I like on both sites, and then there are some plays I have that are specific for Draftkings and then specifically for Yahoo. We will look at some of my favorite plays for this slate. Just before we do get started, I would appreciate it if you would drop a like on this video. Feel free to leave any comments down below in the comment section. If you have any questions, feel free to leave any questions down below. If you just want to leave your thoughts on tonight's slate, you can do that as well. I do always appreciate your guys' feedback, your guys' comments. They are always helpful. And if you are new to the channel, if you're someone that's new to the channel, make sure you click that subscribe button down below. And also be sure to click the notification bell so that way you get notified every time I upload and you'll never miss out on a new video. I always appreciate that. For those of you guys that are subscribed with notifications on, really does mean a lot. But something I wanted to do to start off my NBA videos, something that I'm going to try and do for pretty much every NBA video, depending on how much injury news there is the night before, I'm going to try and break down the injuries that we have to watch as we go into the slate. And as of Sunday night when I'm recording this video, there are 3 pretty big injuries that we're going to need to watch heading into Monday night slate. First off is Joel Embiid. So Joel Embiid is questionable heading into Monday night. He's questionable as of Sunday when I'm recording this. All 4 of the big guys for the Sixers, their big 4, Ben Simmons, Josh Richardson, Tobias Harris, Al Horford, all 4 of them would definitely benefit if Joel Embiid is out, and I think all 4 of them would become very strong options if Embiid does not play. It is a great matchup for the Sixers facing the Hawks. Hawks are one of the worst defensive teams. They're going to be one of the worst defensive teams. They're going to play at a very fast pace as well. A lot of the Sixers guys didn't get priced up enough. I think Ben Simmons is still under 9K. Josh Richardson's like 52 or 5,300. Tobias and Horford are both still in like that mid 6K range. So all 4 of those guys would be very solid options if Joel Embiid is out. If Joel Embiid plays, I don't have much interest in any players in this game besides like maybe Josh Richardson because he's still really cheap. If Embiid plays, I probably won't be looking to really any Sixers tonight. The next big injury is Jrue Holiday. He's also questionable heading into Monday night slates. The biggest beneficiaries last game with him out were Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, and Josh Hart. All 3 of those guys had really big games last game when Jrue was out. Ingram did see a pretty big price bump. I mean, he's been playing out of his mind with the Pelicans so far. He had like 60 fantasy points last game. He's up to 7,500 though on Draftkings, and I don't know if I really want to pay that price tag for Ingram, even if Holiday is out. But Lonzo and Josh Hart both still feel underpriced, especially if Jrue does wind up sitting. I think Lonzo's like 62 or 6,300, and Josh Hart's still under 5K, still really cheap. So both Lonzo and Hart will become very strong options if Jrue is out. Those are 2 big injuries we're going to need to watch. And then the last one is Zach Collins. Zach Collins got hurt on Sunday night. The Trailblazers are on a back-to-back. They do play again on Monday. It seems pretty likely that Zach Collins is not going to play. That hasn't been confirmed yet, but I believe he has a dislocated shoulder, so I doubt he's able to play. He's probably going to be out for a significant amount of time. So whoever starts for Zach Collins, I think could be a really good value play. There's a chance it is Skal Labissière, and if it is Skal, then he would definitely be a guy we could look to. He's a very good point per minute guy. He only needs like 20, 25 minutes to return value. He's like the minimum on DraftKings, so if Skal Labissière draws the start for Zach Collins, he would be a great value play. We could potentially see the Trailblazers go small and maybe start like Kent Bazemore or Mario Hezonja. If either one of them draws the start, I think they could become options as well. All 3 of those guys are incredibly cheap, so whichever one starts, I think would become a pretty good value for the Zach Collins injury and for him being out. But those are just some of the 3 big injuries we need to watch heading into Monday night slate. Now let's go ahead and take a look at some of my favorite plays for this Monday night slate. So first off, I really like Giannis at the top. Giannis is 10,600 on DraftKings, $54 on Yahoo. So this slate is pretty loaded with stud options. I believe it is an 11-game slate. There's a lot of options at the top, but Giannis is the guy that I prefer at home against the Cavs. I believe they're at home against the Cavs, a really bad Cavs defense, or just a really bad Cavs team in general. So far this season, through 2 games, Giannis has 70 and 71 DraftKings points. He was 1 assist shy of having a triple-double in his last game. He did have a triple-double in his first game against the Rockets. So Giannis has been doing exactly what we thought he would do. He's going to be a dominant player all season. He's going to be one of the highest fantasy point guys at the end of the season, just total fantasy points acquired. Giannis is going to be a great play on most nights. He's still underpriced on DraftKings at $10,600. Pretty much all the studs are underpriced. I don't know what DraftKings is doing, but like guys like Giannis, Harden, these guys should be like close to 12K almost every night. So the fact that Giannis is still 10,600, there's plenty of value on this slate. There's going to be plenty of value, I feel like. Should be pretty easy to fit him in. The only concern, I guess you could say, with Giannis is that it is a matchup with the Cavs, and the Cavs are so bad that this game could obviously blow out. I think right now it does have a 15-point spread. So there is blowout concern, but if it does blow out, that probably means that Giannis is a big reason why the game is blown out. Because if the Cavs are losing by like 30 points and the Bucks are up 30, it's probably because Giannis like already has a triple double or something. So Giannis I really like. I'm not scared of the blowout. I'm going to be playing him today. I think he's one of the top studs, one of the highest projected studs. Should be able to dominate this Cavs team. If the game somehow does stay close, I mean, there's a chance Giannis goes for like 70 again. So love Giannis on this slate. Definitely a guy I'm trying to pay up for at the top. But now the next play is Marquise Chris. 3,200 on DraftKings, $10 on Yahoo minimum salary. He's going to be one of the most popular value plays today, I'm pretty sure. But for good reason. He's so cheap on both sides. Kevon Looney is not expected to play today, and we know that Willie Cauley-Stein is going to be out for a significant amount of time. He's going to be out for a while, which pretty much leaves Marquise Chris as the next available healthy body. So yesterday on Sunday, the Warriors played the Thunder. They got blown out. They got beat by like 30 points. Marquise Chris did start that game. Kevon Looney was out for that game, and Marquise Chris drew the start. He played 23 minutes, put up 25.5 DraftKings points. The game was a blowout. I think if the game does stay competitive, Chris probably plays a few more minutes. He did play a bit in the fourth quarter, but not the whole fourth quarter. He played like 3 or 4 minutes in the fourth quarter and then came out. Steph got pulled like at the end of the third quarter. So if the game stays close, I think Chris probably plays a little bit more in the fourth quarter and probably plays around like 26, 27 minutes. I think that's where I'm probably projecting him for. Minutes-wise, it's probably like mid-20s to upper 20s. He's always been a pretty good point-per-minute guy. If he can stay out of foul trouble, if he plays 25, 26 minutes, he's probably most likely going to put up about 25, 26 DraftKings points. It's a matchup against the Pelicans that is really good. I mean, there's a chance this game goes small, which is a bit of concern because the Pelicans have been playing pretty small this season, but either way, it's a fast-paced game against a bad Pelicans defense. Marquise Chris should have no problem paying off this price tag, both of these price tags. Like even if he goes for 20 DraftKings points, that's pretty good value at only 3,200 on DK, especially if it allows you to pay up for the studs that you want, and those studs do what they're supposed to. So love Marquise Chris as a value. He's going to be popular, but I think he's a guy you just kind of eat the chalk with today. Now the next guy we're going to look at another value I'm looking to, Josh Hart. On DraftKings, he's 4,800. On Yahoo, he's $14. Shooting guard and small forward eligible. So I do have interest in Hart regardless of if Drew plays or not. If Drew is out, then that's even better. Hart becomes an even better play. So he was great when he started for Drew last game. But even coming off the bench, coming off the bench before Drew got hurt, Hart still had been very productive coming off the bench. He should probably play about 6 to 8 more minutes if Drew is out, so that's why he's a much better play if Drew is out, because he's going to probably play more minutes. But even when Drew was playing and Hart was coming off the bench, Hart still put up 30-plus DraftKings points in both games coming off the bench. He played 26 and 28 minutes in those games. So if he comes off the bench here, you probably project him for about upper 20s in minutes. Probably project him for like high 20s to low 30s in DraftKings points. If Drew is out, you probably bump those numbers up just a little bit. Still too cheap on both sides, in my opinion, especially for a guy that projects for probably nearly 30 fantasy points. 4,800 on DraftKings, just way too cheap. $14 on Yahoo, also way too cheap. The Warriors are going to be really bad defensively this year, so it is a good matchup against the Warriors. It is going to be a fast-paced game. Hopefully the game can stay competitive. I really like Josh Hart here, and I think he's one of the top values on the slate, regardless of if Drew plays or not. Now we're going to take a look at Steph Curry. I do have a lot of interest in Steph Curry on today's slate. Point guard and shooting guard eligible on DraftKings. He's $9,500. On Yahoo, he's at $43. So I feel like at some point Steph Curry is going to go off and have a big game. I definitely want to be on him when that does happen. His usage rate without Clay, Boogie, Durant on the floor is absolutely insane. It's like upwards of 30, 35%. He's taking a ton of shots when he's on the floor. Really the only reason Curry has not had a big game yet is because the Warriors are really struggling to keep games competitive right now. Curry has not played more than 30 minutes so far this season. Both games the Warriors have played in, Curry's played exactly 30 minutes. Most likely in competitive games, Curry probably plays near 36 minutes, I would say, 35, 36 minutes. So he's losing minutes due to blowout, which is one of the reasons he really hasn't had a big game. It's also haven't been like the best spots. I mean, he had to face the Clippers, who are one of the best defensive teams in the league. He had to face Oklahoma City in Oklahoma City, which was kind of a tough spot, I guess you could say. Now going into New Orleans to face the Pelicans, a really bad Pelicans defense, a Pelicans team that we know is going to play very fast this year. This game sets up very well for Steph Curry. Fast-paced games are what Curry really thrives in, so I really like him here. Hopefully people shy away from him because he hasn't really had any good games this season. The big game's coming. Curry's going to go for 50, 60 one of these games, and I want to be on him when it happens. So I'm definitely going to be trying to pay up for Curry and Giannis today at the top. But now we're going to take a look at a Yahoo-specific play. This is a play that I like more on Yahoo than Draftkings. So Aron Baynes over on Yahoo is still minimum salary. I don't have much interest in him on Draftkings where he's 5,100, but I really don't know why he's still this cheap on Yahoo. They haven't adjusted his price for DeAndre Ayton being suspended, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Since the DeAndre Ayton suspension, Baynes has started both games, and he's gone for 30 and 33 fantasy points in both of those games. This is a tough matchup against the Jazz, no doubt. Rudy Gobert is a very solid defensive center, but you would expect that if the Suns want to stop Rudy Gobert, especially if they want to stop him on the glass, their best shot of slowing him down is with Aron Baynes. I don't see them putting Frank Kaminsky out there against Rudy Gobert. I just don't think that's going to work. I don't see them really playing check Diallo, so Baynes' minutes should be pretty secure in this spot. We saw him play about 29 minutes against the Nuggets and against Nikola Jokic. I think we could see a similar amount of minutes here against Rudy Gobert. I feel like just about every time that Gobert is going to be out on the floor, Baynes is going to have to be out on the floor. So I love him on Yahoo where he's still minimum salary. I think this is a really good spot. Even in a tough matchup, I think the minutes are going to be there. And Baynes has always been a point per minute guy. If he gets the minutes, he'll be able to produce for you. So definitely like Aron Baynes at center on Yahoo. But now we're going to take a look at Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose is $5,400 on DraftKings, $21 on Yahoo, point guard and shooting guard eligible on DK. So Derrick Rose has been absolutely balling off the bench for the Pistons so far this season. Even in limited minutes, he's still producing over a point per minute and has a very high usage rate when he's on the floor. He's been playing about 27 minutes a game off the bench. It seems like the Pistons are going to keep him around that, but I did read some reports that Dwayne Casey could potentially be upping Derrick Rose's minutes in future games. He could be playing more minutes, especially if he keeps playing this well. It would make sense for them to let him play more. Reggie Jackson is doubtful for this game, which is one of the reasons I really like Derrick Rose again. I don't think you're really point chasing here. I know Derrick Rose has been really producing well, 30, 31, and 40 DraftKings points through 3 games. I don't think you're point chasing though. I think the minutes are going to be there with Reggie Jackson most likely out for this game. Last game with Jackson out, Detroit did start Tim Frazier, which was kind of surprising. I didn't expect them to do that. I thought Derrick Rose was going to get the start, but they started Tim Frazier. Tim Frazier played 21 minutes. He was pretty outperformed by Derrick Rose. I mean, Rose just played way better than Frazier. I believe Rose wound up closing the game over Frazier. I would not be surprised at all if Derrick Rose does draw the start here, especially with how well he's been playing and with the talks that they want to up his minutes or they want to give him a few more minutes. I think we could see Derrick Rose draw the start, and if he does, I mean, he becomes a great play on both sides. Derrick Rose, since he's been with the Timberwolves, he's been producing at a very high level, even in limited minutes. He's kind of looked like the old Derrick Rose, getting up a lot of shots, handling the ball a ton, just playing really well, even in only 26, 28 minutes, still giving you a ton of upside. And when he's on the floor, he has a pretty high usage rate. He's touching the ball a ton. He's taking a lot of shots, just doing everything you want him to do. So really like Derrick Rose again, especially with Reggie Jackson doubtful. I think that just helps Rose even more. But now we're going to take a look at Malcolm Brogdon, point guard and shooting guard on DraftKings. He's $6,900 over on DK. And on Yahoo, he's at $25. I really like that Yahoo price. I think he's way too cheap over there. So far, the numbers that Brogdon has put up, in my opinion, they're really no fluke. I mean, I think this is going to be the kind of guy that Malcolm Brogdon's going to be. He's put up, I believe, 43 and 54 DraftKings points through 2 games so far with the Pacers. He's going to be a stud with Oladipo out. I mean, with Oladipo out, Malcolm Brogdon is going to be the primary ball handler. He's racking up a ton of assists right now, double-digit assists in both games this season. He's taken a ton of shots as well, so the volume is clearly there. He's been pretty efficient from the floor, which maybe comes down a little bit. I believe he shot like 40 and 60% from the floor in both of those games. So maybe those numbers come down a little bit, but he's took 13 and 18 field goal attempts through those 2 games. So like I said, he's taken a ton of shots. He's got the ball in his hands a ton. He's racking up the assists. And this combo of Derrick Rose and Tim Frazier, have no chance of slowing down Brogdon. That's a pretty bad defensive combo. Both of those guys are not good defensively, so I really like Malcolm Brogdon here, even though he's priced up. I mean, I think he's worth his price. I think he's going to be a guy that probably puts up 20 and 10 on most nights. So really like Malcolm Brogdon again. I think he's a very strong play again for the third night in a row. Now the last guy we're going to take a look at is Kelly Oubre. This is a DraftKings specific play. So Oubre on DraftKings is 6,100 at small forward and power forward. So over on Yahoo, he's $30. I don't think I'm going to be really targeting Oubre over on Yahoo at that price tag. That's much more reasonable price. But on DK, where he's 6,100, I think he's still way too cheap. He continues to have a very high usage rate with this Suns offense. He's contributing in all categories. He's scoring, he's getting rebounds, he's getting assists, he's getting the defensive stats as well. Oubre's just been doing it all, contributing in everything, which is what you want. So I really like Oubre here. I played him literally every night or that he's been on the slate, and it's worked out so far. So I'm going to keep going back to him, especially with DK just not adjusting his price to what it should be. He should be close to 7K, if not more than that. Last game against the Clippers, he did have to deal with foul trouble. He did have some foul trouble in that game. Only wound up playing 22 minutes because of the foul trouble, but he still put up 35 DraftKings points in those 22 minutes. He's going to produce, in my opinion, he's going to produce whether it's a good matchup or not. This is definitely a tough matchup against the Jazz, a good defensive team, but Oubre just has such a high usage rate. He's taking a ton of shots. He's getting rebounds. He's just used so much in this offense that at 6,100, if he's going to project for 35, 36 DraftKings points every night, then I'm just going to keep playing him at 6,100. Once he gets to like 7K, 7,500, then I think you definitely want to try and maybe take a step back. But until Oubre gets there, I'll probably keep playing him at 6,100. Still remains underpriced in my opinion on DraftKings. But that's it for some of my picks for tonight's slate, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I do really appreciate it. You'll notice on the screen right now, I have one of my more recent videos popping up on the screen if you want to check that video out. You can also hover over my YouTube logo to subscribe to the channel. And as always, feel free to leave any comments, any questions, any feedback down below in the comment section. Always appreciate your guys' feedback. Really does mean a lot. But good luck on the slate tonight, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Peace.